Recording in progress.
There we go. Greetings, or should I say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Greetings, everyone. How is everyone on this beautiful Shabbat? Today is September, I keep saying September, November 29th, 2025. This is November 29th, 2025. And today is the Assembly of the Righteous, which is the Sabbath day, the Assembly of the Righteous. And here we assemble on the Sabbath day to keep the Creator's word by coming together, going through his scriptures, and sharing the word of Yah through the scriptures and showing prophecy through the scriptures and what's happening in today's time, according to the scriptures and according to the acts and the things that is happening in this day. So in this and in that, I'm sharing information. And we've been on the Sabbath, we've been going through the book of 1 Samuel, but we're in 2 Samuel now. We're in 2 Samuel, and we're about to get started. But first, what we always do, we go through we give a prayer. We do prayer. We go through the commandments. After the commandments, we share why we have prophets, according to the law and according to the word of Yah. Then we go into the reading of the story of today. And today's story is going to be the defiling of, not the defiling, but defiling of Tamar. Defiling of Tamar. You'll see that coming up. Right now, we're going to get started. Other than that, blessed be thou, Father of the universe, that bring forth all living creatures forth from the earth. Blessed be thou, Father of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Blessed be the Father of Israel. Blessed be the Father of 12 tribes of Israel. Thank you, Father, for all you've done, been doing, and plan to do. We ask you to keep giving us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, life, health, and strength, food, shelter, and clothing. Let us be happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, and prosperous in all that we do. We ask you to keep leading and guiding us so we can help leading and guiding others in your knowledge, your word, your ruach, and your way. We ask you to keep your arms of protection around us, keep us in every way, help us in every way. We ask you to allow us to retain the knowledge and information so we will learn to know and grow in your information and in your law and in your word. We ask you to keep us in every way. We ask you to forgive us also of the sins that we have done, our ancestors and our forefathers in the time past, today's time and time to come, that we may do unknowingly, and the things that we have done knowingly, and that we will be, shall I say, put in straight for. But I thank you for all you've done, been doing, the plan to do. We ask you, thank you for another beautiful Sabbath day. We ask you to forgive us and help us, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, financial, or spiritual. In all these things we pray. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise you Almighty. Excuse me. Well, we get ready to go through the law, which are the commandments of the Creator, which is in Exodus chapter 20. Exodus chapter 20. These are the 10 commandments with the Creator, what the Father, the Creator, spoke to the children of Israel in the wilderness. And we start with chapter 20, verse 1, which are the 10 commandments. Verse 1. And Yah spake all these words, saying, I am Yah thy father, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. First commandment, First commandment, verse 3. Thou shalt have no other deities, it says gods, but deities before me. Second commandment. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yah thy father, am a jealous father, visiting the iniquity, the ignorance of the fathers, which are the parents, upon the children who they teach, unto the third, which are the Greeks, and the fourth, which are the Roman generation of them that hate me, which is the Greek and the Roman empires, the generation of their world powers, of them that hate me, and showing mercy, which is grace, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandment. That's how you love them. Third commandment, thou shalt not take the name of Yah thy Father in vain, for Yah will not hold him guiltless that taketh, excuse me, thou shalt not take the name, which is actually the law, of Yah thy Father in vain. For Yah will not hold him guiltless that continue to take, which is taketh, his name, which is his law, in vain. Fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day, which is the seventh day, to keep it hallowed, which is set aside. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yah thy Father. In it thou shalt not do any work, In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yah made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yah blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it, set it aside. Fifth commandment, excuse me, y'all. Weather is changing and mucus is coming up. Forgive me. Fifth commandment, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yah thy Father giveth thee. Sixth commandment, thou shalt not murder. Even though it says thou shalt not kill, you kill for a purpose. When you murder without a cause. There's no cause behind murdering someone. Thou shalt not murder. Seventh commandment, thou shalt not commit idolatry or adultery. When a man lay down with another man's woman, that is adultery and idolatry. Excuse me. Woo. And when any woman that belongs to a man, I don't care if it's one woman or several women, that belongs to a man, if you lay down with any other man outside of the man that you're laying with, that is adultery and idolatry. All of that is according to fornication. Only time you see fornication in the law or prophets, you'll see it according to another deity. A lot of people don't realize that. Thou shalt not steal, which is the eighth commandment. Thou shalt not steal, which is take another person's belongings. Ninth commandment, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Like I always share, which the lawyers, we have lawyers do it, prosecutors do it, lawyers, prosecutors, and attorneys do it all the time. 10th and last commandment that the Creator spoke. Thou shalt not covet, which is want thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet, which is want thy neighbor's wife. Excuse me. Nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And after this is when we come to the point of when we gain on prophets, and the reason why we have prophets and the understanding of why. It says, and the people's fear. 18. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountains smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. Meaning they were scared. And when they hear the thunder and lightning outside, you know how it is anyway. Verse 19, which is the key verse in what's coming up in Deuteronomy 18. And they said unto Moses, speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not God, Yah, speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, fear not, for Yah is come to prove you that his fear, that his fear may be before your faces, that ye, which is you, sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Yah was. Then the conclusion to that is in Deuteronomy chapter 18, starting at verse 15, which states, a promised prophet. And Yah thy father will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren, of the children of Israel, like unto me. Unto him shall ye hearken, unto him shall ye listen to. Excuse me. Verse 16. According to all that thou desire in the of Yah of Yah thy father in Horeb in the day of the assembly, saying, let me not hear again the voice of Yah my father, that I die not. Verse 17. And Yah said unto me, they have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet, and I always say a prophet in its time. That's the reason why all different prophets came when they came, in different times that was sent by the Father. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, Moses. And I say, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. Deuteronomy 18:19. And it shall come to pass, meaning it's going to happen, that whosoever will not hearken, who will not listen to or do unto my words, which he shall speak in my name. That's the key. In thy name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other deities, even that prophet shall die. And if thou say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which Yah have not spoken? When a prophet speaketh in the name of Yah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yah has not spoken. It is not spoken, but the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. Excuse me, my nose is. So as we see, excuse me, the reason why we have prophets is because we actually ask for Moses to speak. So now, we're getting ready to go into the scripture reading of today. I always like to do a little recap of what happened last week or what happened before we go on or move on. So today is going to be about chapter 13, which is defiling of Tamar, defiling of Tamar. But before that happened, last week we was in chapter 13, 2 Samuel chapter 13, and here this is when Nathan came and he rebuked David, and I gave the name. What did I call it? David's. I think I called it. I forgot what I called it. It was David? David's punishment. I think that's what I called it. David's punishment. Or the prophecy of David's punishment. That's what it was. So here is when Nathan came. The prophet came to David and spoke to him about a parable, which is an example of what David did in chapter 11, which he took a man's wife, laid with her, even though he was of another nation. The wife that he laid with, the man was from another nation. Where he was Uriah. And he was from the Hittites, which was supposed to be killed off, but he was one that loved Israel and doing Israel's will, so he was just in the eyes of the Creator. But David ended up killing him after he got his wife pregnant, tried to send the man to go be with his wife after coming out of the war. Man didn't go because that was of the Creator, because anytime you got a beautiful wife, you're going to want to go be with her. You want to go be with her. So what ended up happening, David got her pregnant, brought the man in, befriend the guy. Excuse me, y'all. All this stuff just coming down on me for me. I wasn't like this an hour ago. So, David befriend him, try to send him home to take the place of his baby. All right, to take the place of his baby, Eliyahu Israel. How you doing? Glad to see you here. Try to take the place, like a lot of women and have done today. They had sex with somebody, and by having sex with somebody, matter of fact, let me read and see what you got over here. I don't want to mix up what I'm saying, so respectfully, I have a question. Isn't it true that when a man passionately engages with another man's wife, not only is that adultery on her part, but also taking another man's belongings, possession? That's true. I'm glad you asked the question. On his part, meaning that when a man messes around with a married woman, he has a double whammy upon his head. He should be. Yep, I agree. I agree with that. But the whammy would be of the Creator because number one is you're going against the Creator's word. By going against the Creator's word, the Creator said, and then not only that, this is blatantly against His word because we just got through reading in the Ten Commandments, and the seventh commandment. The seventh commandment, thou shalt not commit idolatry, which is adultery. So yes, it is double whammy. So this is the reason why I'm sharing. I'm glad you asked the question, my brother. I believe my brother. I believe. I don't want to be mistaken. If I hope I'm not mistaken. Forgive me if I am. But yeah. So this is the point. When David did what he did, even though that, and I'm not giving an excuse, but I'm giving logic to according to the word as what's going on and what happened. Because when you go against the created word, there's no excuse. David, he was a king, and to me, this is the only time that he committed a wrong throughout the times that I've seen throughout those against the Creator. That is, and if you go against the Creator's word, you're going against the Creator. A lot of people don't understand that. So the fact that David laid with Bathsheba, knowing that he was another woman's wife, even though the lust took over his mind because she was fine from what she was beautiful to look upon. He seen her taking a bath naked. He inquired. We always supposed to do that. I did that with the two women that I got, the two best relationships I had. I inquired with my children's mother in Europe when I was there. It came back to me from many. She's not a hoe. She's not out there. She this and that, and that's where she was. The Creator set me up. I already know. Same with the woman I have now. I inquired. She's not like that. She don't mess around. She this and that and whatever. You supposed to inquire. When you inquire, you do your due diligence to find out about a person. Once you find out about that person, either they're open, meaning they're free, or they're not. If they're not free, thank you, I appreciate you, and keep it moving. That's all you got to do. But if they're free, then you try to pursue, hey, how you doing? I'd like to take you out, what have you. Get to know you, and go from there. Calling courting, as they used to say back in the day. But at this time, as we've seen in Daniel chapter 11, David knew what he was doing. He really just got beside himself because he forgot about the Creator. All through the script, he always had the Creator on his mind. And this is how we're supposed to be. I know a lot of, and I'm not going off the subject because I'm going to get them back. I'm jumping back to the story of the day, but I always do a recap. So, and all I'm saying is that a lot of people wear the fringes, and I'm not saying anything against the fringes. The point is the law is supposed to be in your mind. You can look at the fringes and be like, if you don't know the law, you can look at the fringe. Okay, we're supposed to remember. This is like a dog tag. Okay, I'm looking at my friend. Okay, I'm supposed to remember the law. The law is supposed to be within you. And I don't have nothing against the fringes. But in this day and time, the law is supposed to be within. And how you get it within? By studying. That's how you know the law, understand the law. And then the more you read into it, the more the Creator going to open your mind to the spiritual aspect of the word, besides just looking at it physically. You're going to understand the spirit. That's the reason why I go in, I share the spiritual aspect of the wording that we're reading. Whatever's going on in their life, I show it going on today. No different I'm sharing right now about David trying to send Uriah to go home, lay with his wife, even though he got her pregnant, and Uriah didn't know. And if he did that and she never said nothing, and if Uriah would have went and laid with her, she probably wouldn't have said nothing. Why? Look at the women today. How many women today do y'all know that has had babies and gotten pregnant by somebody else and they laid it on the man, and the father always, sometimes men knew, sometimes they probably fell off without knowing. But a lot of time it's been coming out in this day and time. How it's been coming out, a man find out that a woman had a baby by somebody else, if they need a blood transfusion, if they need to donate an organ, one way or the other, if it's for the father or for the child, it's something that's going to come out to show that that father isn't the baby's father, but the mother knew. You know what I'm saying? The mother knew. So that's going on today, and that's why I show you in the scriptures what's going on today according to what's been said in the scriptures. Same thing that David tried to do. Not gonna harp on it, but this is the only time I can see where David did anything unrighteous according to Yah in the book. Anybody can think what they want to think. And he wasn't a murderer. Everybody tries, not everybody, a lot of people I know, even pastors and preachers or what, David was a murderer. He wasn't a murderer. He had someone murdered one time. A murderer is a continual thing. So David did have someone murdered one time by putting Uriah on the front line so he can die. Then he took the man's wife. So this is where Nathan came and gave the analogy or the example in a parable. And then David got mad, but yet and still the father forgave him, but he did lay a punishment upon him. So by laying that punishment upon him, a lot of people don't know. When you read the story, you can read it because you're ahead. But if you put yourself in the stories as you're reading them, you can see how these things are played out. Because by you reading the story, you have firsthand knowledge. It's like looking at a movie. Well, okay, I can understand what's going to happen. I hadn't seen that before. But if you in it for the first time, you don't know what's going on. You're reading it as it's happening. And if you read it as it's happening and put yourself in the story, you can't look at it like, okay, I know this and I know that. You have to put yourself in it like, okay, this happened for the first time. That's where you put your mind in there and start to see things. But you can also understand things of today according to the story. Because there's some things I'm going to bring out as well. So with all that happening, now David went through his situation. And also David prayed. Now this is something I wanted to make sure I let this be known. When they said that Uriah was dead, he passed, then what happened? David grieved for the child after he took Uriah's wife. He grieved for that child because the child was innocent. The child was innocent. He laid 7 days fasting and asked the Creator that the Creator might forgive him and may allow the child to live, because that's on David. That was on David because of what he did. But the Creator told him the baby ain't gonna live. The Creator don't go back on his word. He may alter or he don't change. He'll change it, but he don't go back on it. If he say he's gonna do something, it's gonna happen. It may not happen the way we think it's gonna happen, but if he say it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. We have to understand it in the way that he does it. So, but what happened that a lot of people don't know is that where we at is a certain point in here where David, when he rose and washed himself up, right here in 20, verse 20 is the key verse. Then David, 2 Samuel 12 and 20, it says, then David arose from the earth and washed and anointed himself and changed his apparel, he changed his clothes, and came to the house of Yah and worshiped. Then he came to his own house, and when he required, they set a bread before him, and he did eat. So even after fasting and praying and talking to the Creator, this is something a lot of people don't realize that he did. He didn't even get up and go eat or get anything. He got up, cleaned himself up, made himself presentable, went and presented himself in front of the Creator, and then presented supplications. Or just went and prayed. He went to go see the Creator first, physically, not just where he was fasting and where he was. He went to the house of the Creator. He went to where he know the Creator is at, and he went and gave supplications and things like that. A lot of people don't talk about that. They just say, well, he got up, washed himself up, and he went to eat. No, first he went to go and worship the Creator first. He didn't even get up and eat. He worshiped the Creator first. He gave honor to the Creator. You know, even though he didn't just get up and say, okay, Father, okay, thank you. And then he just went and got something to eat. He went up, washed himself up, anointed himself, went in to go see the Creator. All respect, still on the fast, still fasting. Then after he did that, when he went home, then he started to eat. A lot of people don't ever, when I actually read this time, this is what jumped out at me. And a lot of people never pay it any attention or don't pay it any attention. So a lot of people need to really get into the scriptures and really get to studying to see things for what they really are. Greetings, Javier, or should I say G1, glad you can make it. So a lot of people don't realize the depth and how serious this situation is. And a lot of people don't go in to really study because they see a little bit and they run with it. But every time you go in, you see something just a little bit deeper than where we used to be. So now we're at 2 Samuel chapter 13. And this is defiling. This is the defiling of Tamar. So we get ready to start right here. This is chapter 13 of 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter 13. It says, Ammon sins against Tamar. Amnon sins against Tamar. And it came to pass. Here we go. And it came to pass after this, that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister. Ooh, fair sounds fine to me. Absalom, this is where Absalom's name really first come up at. Absalom, the son of David, he's the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar. And it's a lot of this that people really gonna need to check out. I'll be right with you, bro. When I get done with this, I'm definitely gonna read your stuff and go into it as well. So I do a part 1 and a part 2. But like today, we're gonna do the full chapter 13, part 1 and part 2. So right now, part 2, verse 2. Verse 1 again. And it came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister, whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved, and Amnon, which was another brother, both of these were brothers, son of David, Absalom, son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, still another son of David. These are two sons of David, so they're brothers. Maybe not from the same mother, but they're brothers, right? And Absalom had a blood sister. That was his blood sister. Verse 2. And Amnon was so vexed. Now, this is where I want to get at. I'm going to read this out, and then I'm going to share with some things today about some things going on today. And like I said, I take the scriptures and show you from scriptures the things that's going on today that some people probably don't even realize, right? Verse 2. And Amnon was so vexed, that he fell sick for his sister. You see that? See, she's still his sister, but she was a sister from another mother. For his sister, Tamar, for she was a virgin. See, she was a virgin, and Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything, to her. He thought it hard. Now I'm wondering the hard of the situation is to do anything to her. But let's keep it moving. But first, Amnon was so vexed that he fell sick for he was vexed that that sound like a spirit of Yah. It sound like a spirit of Yah, but it might have been something within him. He was vexed that he fell sick for his sister, Tamar. For she was a virgin. She was fine and hadn't been touched. And Amnon thought it hard for him to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab. The J is a Y, so I say Jonadab. Not Jonadab. I put the J as a Y because the Y was actually in Hebrew for the J. The son of Shemiah, David's brother. Okay. This is the son of Shemiah. So this is David's brother named Shemiah. But he was Jonadab was his nephew. And Jonadab was a very subtle man, so he was slick. Subtle. He was like the serpent. If he was like that, it means he was evil. Or just slick at the things he do. Verse 4. And he said unto him, Why art thou being the king's son? Lean from day to day. Wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar. You see that? I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. You see that? My brother Absalom's sister. Verse 5. And Jonadab said unto him, Lay thee down on thy bed and make thyself sick. You see that? And see how slick it is? Now you see now this is what I'm getting at. I don't know how often it is today, but this used to be in the past. These women today are going rampant. But in the past, the men used to be slick like that. They used to be like, okay, man, they used to try to help each other, try to get with another, try to get a woman. Not trying to get with them to be with them like as in a marriage or which is actually been a couple. Man, I want to get that, And men used to help people do that. This is wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Even though we come up in the time because we was coming up in the 400 years, we out now. 2020 was the judgment, but 2019 was the end of the 400 years. So a lot of stuff that came up was a part of the curse that we was in. We out of that now. That's why I say it's a lot about to happen. The great judgment is coming. So it behooves everybody to get on the creative side and start learning his law. Because now the mercy is about going. Because I got to say this real quick. Even though I just read the commandments, the end of the second commandment said, but it says the father, the jealous father, visiting the iniquity. You got to share this real quick to have people understanding why everybody was where they at and what we turning and coming into right now. So I got to share this information. Say, father is a jealous father, visiting the iniquity upon the father, which is upon the parents, upon the children. This is the parents upon, the reason I say parents, it says fathers in the scripture, but today we don't have parents in the home. We have women in the home. We have some parents, man and woman in the home. Then you got some men just taking care of the children. So the whole thing is the iniquity is that we fell away from the Creator's word by the third and fourth generation, which is, he said that visiting the iniquities upon the fathers, upon the children, upon the parents, upon the children, unto the third, which is the Greek, and the fourth, which is the Roman generation, which is world powers of them that hate me, which is the Greeks and the Romans. But showing mercy, which is grace. The Father gave us grace throughout this time to start learning and getting back close to him. This is the reason why he said, but showing mercy, which is grace, unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. The more you study, the more you learn, the more you know, the more you grow. The Greeks and the Romans taught everybody against the law. That's why the Creator gave us mercy. 300 years, 3,000 years, should I say. 400 years, 1619 to 2019. Then the judgment, which has happened. Now grace is getting ready to. Now is coming a point in time when judgment is coming across everybody. Because now it's time for the earth to be under the rule of the Creator. Now the earth is going through a change. And it's going to be either one or the other. You're going to be on the side of wickedness, or you're going to be side of the law. It's only going to be those two. And everyone has a chance to change right now. And what's going on right here in verse 3, actually on this point, this is what men used to do. Some probably still doing it today. But some men probably not, because a lot of men see how the women are now, they're backing off. That's why Isaiah 4:1 is coming soon. Men are backing off. They're not out here like they used to be. Men are getting themselves together. They're getting them houses. They're getting the business right. They're getting themselves together. Even with the, not even, mostly I'm gonna say, but what should be, but with the Creator, with them financial and themselves. Men are getting themselves together because these women is going crazy. Not all. I ain't say all. I'm just saying these women, the ones out here that do the things that y'all know that they do. So. Same thing right here. This is what they used to do. This is what men used to do in time past. They used to be slick, play games, get the women they want just to get them. Some would just chase a woman. Some of y'all men know what I'm talking about. They'd chase a woman as long as she running, they'd still chase them. When they got them, when they get them, they done with them. Like a piece of rag. Like this tissue paper. Like a piece of rag. They just wanted to hit it. That's what's going on here. Same situation. People can't see it, but it's scripture. You just have to read the scripture and understand the scripture for what it is. These things are physical, mental, and spiritual. So, 4 again. And he said unto him, why art thou being the king's son lean from day to day? Wilt thou not tell me? And Amnon said unto him, I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister. 5. And Jonadab said unto him, lay thee down on thy bed and make thyself sick. Make yourself sick. So you can make yourself sick. A lot of people don't know that. You can make yourself anything. You can make yourself, if you don't have the right mindset, like me, I'm always upbeat. I try to be, hey, how you doing? You got to keep a positive outlook. As long as you thinking negative, you're going to bring negative, you're going to attract negative information. I'm saying negative, but bad stuff, you're going to attract that to you. And Jonadab said unto him, lay thee down on thy bed and make thyself sick. And when thy father come to see thee, say unto him, I pray thee, let my sister Tamar come and give me meat. Let my sister Tamar come and give me meat. Well, I'm just requesting, can you have Tamar send me some food and dress the meat in my sight, that I may see it and eat it at her hand. So Amnon lay down and made himself sick. You see that? Advice from a slickster. And this is what that saying, now, I didn't share it in time past and in the information here. That was the serpent. See, when you get people like that, you have the spirit of the serpent. And that's all he was. He was like he's in Eve's ear, whisper in your ear. All he did is tell her, well, you ain't going to surely die. You're going to be like God. And then in verse 6 of Genesis 3, no, Genesis 2, was it Genesis 2? Yeah, it was Genesis 3. Verse 6 of Genesis 3, she thought, all he did is put it in her ear. She wanted to say, oh, it'll make me wise. It'll make me this. It'll make me that. Oh, okay. Let me go ahead and see. Let me do this. And that's the women of today. Women of today. They think they're better than men. They talk down on men and all this and that. Men, nothing. I'm not going on that. But yet still, you got to understand the traits. And this is the difference of the enmity. You're either the women of Yah, or you're the women of the system, which is Satan. The system is Satan. And the system is one got these women's head going the way they're going. But when a woman desires unto her husband, that's a wife. Because her desires unto her husband, and he's going to rule over her, meaning he's going to take care of her. That's the difference in the two. A lot of people don't know this. So Amnon laid down and made himself sick. And when when the king was come to see him, Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee. Amnon said unto the king, I pray thee, let Tamar my sister come and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat at her hand. And David sent home to Tamar, saying, Go now to thy brother Amnon's house and dress him meat. See that? David was innocent. He didn't know what was going on in that. That's your brother. Both of you my children. Go ahead and see. Go see your brother. He wants you to make him some food. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house. And he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it and made cakes in his sight. So he was just looking at her while she was doing that. How many men do that today? This is lust now. Now, lust isn't a sin until you do an act. And that's what I've been trying to get people to understand. This stuff in the New Testament, talking about if you lust at her, you could sin. No, you don't. When you make that act, it's a sin. David saw Bathsheba. That was lust. He inquired of her. That was lust. When he found out that she was now the act is coming about. He inquired for her to come. When she came, he laid with her. That was the sin. It wasn't lustful. The sin is the act. And everything you do is the act. Anything can be in your mind and you can rebuke it. When you think something, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Father. Forgive me for thinking like that. I'm sorry. No act was committed. You didn't do anything. You thought on something. We think of stuff all the time. Stuff comes to our mind all the time. Not even our wishes or our thoughts. We can see something. Oh, man, no, man, I shouldn't have saw that, whatever. Oh, I can't unsee it. That's not your fault because you're seeing something. When you act, that's the problem. We have to get things right. We got to set things in order. We've been taught amiss. And the precepts of men has gave us information to make us think something other than what the Creator said. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Act, act, act. That's an act. Let's keep it moving. I just have to. Sometimes I get. I have to actually show and give you an understanding compared to what was put there by the precepts of men. You got to understand. Nothing. I don't want to go off into because I probably start explaining other stuff. I got to stay where I'm at. So then David sent home to Tamar, verse 7. Then David sent home to Tamar, saying, Go now to thy brother Amnon's house and dress him meat. So Tamar went to her, verse 8. So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was laid down, and she took flour and kneaded it and made cakes in his sight. And he did bake and did bake cakes. So I know he back there just looking, and he already lusting after her. And man, I'm gonna get this. Ooh, she look fine, and you know, I'd have been like, man, I can't do it. But hey, we don't know what we'll do. The whole thing is trying to ask the Creator to forgive you for the thoughts. If anything, help me not think of this and just change your ways, change your thoughts so you can change the actions of the situation that may come out. You got to be ahead of the situation. You know, most men, we're mostly ahead. We always try to see things for what they are. We try to be ahead of things for our families. For our family. We try to be ahead of the game. I'm trying to think ahead. I'm trying to think ahead. And when you think ahead, it's called planning. Precision. You're tuning everything in. A lot of things today, these women be in your ear, and I'm not talking about them, just saying the obvious. They be in your ear. They want you to be right there with them. You trying to get things ahead up here, but they want you to be right here. But they're supposed to be your help me to help you. Y'all can sit down and talk about things of the future. Y'all can make things happen together. Look at who you're talking to and look at some women today. They're too busy with this and that. They talking about now, this. They ain't think about the future. Know who you with. That's a big key, a great deal for your future and for your future relationship. You got to have a woman that's allowing to follow your lead. That's the reason why the Creator said thy desire shall be, talking about the woman, thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over you. Meaning that he's going to lead you. That's all it means. He's going to lead you. Your desire ought to be to your husband. Now, when you got a man that desires after a woman, something's wrong. I'm just going to leave it there. That's not the way it should be. And verse 9, and she took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. You see that? After all that work she did. She took a pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. He's going to refuse to eat it now. You laying there sick, supposedly. And Amnon said, have out all men from me, and they went out every man from him. Everybody get out. He's a prince. He's the king's son. He's a prince. So he can, whatever he's doing, he got to say so in the kingdom. He may not be the next king, whoever's supposed to be the king, but he got to say so. So he's a prince. Verse 10, and Amnon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the into the chamber, that I may eat of thine hand. See, now I see what's up. They like in the palace or a home or wherever they at. And they may have been in the kitchen or the dining room. So he may be in there looking at her, or she may be in the kitchen. He up there looking at her cook, and he got servants and everybody around, right? And look at what it's saying. And Amnon said unto Tamar, bring the meat into the chamber. Bring it into my room. She don't know what's going on. This is my brother. She don't know that he got a crush on her. You see what I'm saying? How many people fall into situations like that? They don't know what's going on. They're not obvious, especially you think this your brother. This goes to show how close to home things happen. How many times these things happen with females, or shall I say young ladies, damsels, and their uncles, sometimes brothers, that then took advantage of them that's of the family. This is happening a lot. You know what I'm saying? This is always, I can say always happen, but it happens a lot throughout the communities. And like I said, at one time we was in a curse. So a lot of things has happened because the Father said these things were going to happen in the curse, which is Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 68. So a lot of these things are happening. A lot of this stuff is happening, but we have to recognize the scriptures to understand what happened, when they happened, and understand why they happened. It's because of the curse. And the key is, like I was telling my wife and a few other people, all you got to do is understand Ezekiel chapter 18. When a child see the sins of the father, how do you know if the father's sinning? You don't know if you as it said in second commandment, the sins of the father, the iniquity, which is sins of the fathers upon the children. You're teaching your children what you know. You only teach them what you know until you get into the word and see what the Creator said. Now Ezekiel chapter 18 comes about. Now, if the son see the sins of the father, he said, well, I'm not going to do these things. And he turned from those sins. Shall the son receive the same punishment as the father? I'm paraphrasing. No, he shall not. Why? Because he turned. Ezekiel 18. That's all it's saying. That's what Ezekiel 18 is really referring to. We're not to receive the sins of the father's not to receive the sins of the son. If the father's a good father and the son just go out there and try to be willy-nilly, that's on him. That's the reason why Ezekiel 14, verse 12 to 23 comes about. Every man going to be received for their own righteousness. You got 4 sword judgments that's going to happen. Ezekiel 14, 12 through 23. Nobody can, that's where he has no respect to person Only you who do the law is going to be saved. You can't save your son. You can't save your daughter. You can't save your mama. You can't save your daddy. It's only you who are righteous. You have to understand the stories. So I'm giving you scripture to understand, and please go back and check them out. Exodus chapter 20, the second commandment, which is verse 4 through 6. Mainly in verse 5, give you the understanding about the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation, because the Creator seen everything in the beginning anyway. Greek and Roman Empire. So you're understanding the iniquity that we learned from our ancestors or our parents. And then in Ezekiel chapter 18, he's giving us an understanding. As long as you turn from these sins, nothing won't happen to you. Ezekiel chapter 18. Now, Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 12 to 23 is the example of the righteous or the wicked. The righteous is the ones who are going to be in the place of Daniel, Job, or Noah. You are righteous. But anyone who's not righteous, they're going to receive the plague or the judgment in that chapter, which is verse 12, Ezekiel 14, verse 12 to 23. Those three aspects. Check them out. Look at them for what they are. And thank you, Father, for giving it to me the way you just did, so people can see. Once you do that, it's really simple. Keeping the law. Doing what the Creator said do, and understanding and asking Him to keep leading and guide you and let you retain the information as you understand. That's all you got to do. It's really simple. But the more you read, the more you know, the more you know, the more you grow. So, her brother, verse 11. 2 Samuel 13:11. And when she had brought them unto him to eat, he took hold of her and said unto her, Come, lie with me, my sister. Come, lie with me. My sister? Woo. That even sounds funny. But that in that time, they know that they wasn't blood by mother and father, even though there was a commandment in that Leviticus chapter 18. There's a commandment there that tells us who we should and who we shouldn't lay with. So this was after the fact. So the commandment was there, even though, and it looked like they weren't studying to me. Or he was just so vexed. I don't know. People do it today because they didn't know the law. Come, lie with me, my sister. Verse 12. And she answered him, Nay, my brother. No. No. Nay, my brother, do not force me. For no such thing ought to be done. There she go. For no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Do not thou this folly. See, she telling them, this ain't supposed to be, this is the law. She said, ain't supposed to be done in Israel. She know the law. And she's innocent because she's innocent and she's a virgin, which makes her innocent. You ain't supposed to do this. We ain't supposed to do this. But, he was engulfed. So it was something about him, I believe. I'm going to tell you like this. My point. I give you my points of view. Now, I'm not saying they're solid, but I like to think on things that happen. Number one, it was something about him that had a negative spirit in him for him to even think like that. Even though I don't care how fine your sister is, stepsister, whatever. It was something in his spirit about him that made him like her like that, in order for that feeling to be vexed. All spirits is of the Creator. And the Creator said, number one, this is the beginning of, well, I don't want to be the spoiler of the story, but this is the first stage of David's punishment, which was just spoken of in chapter 12. This is the first stage of it, because it has to add up to get there. No different than when David saw her naked, then he inquired, then he went and got her, then committed the act. See what I'm saying? There's a follow-up for every situation. So this right here is the beginning of David's punishment. Verse 13. And when say, no, do not do this folly. Verse 13. And I, whether shall I cause my shame to go? And I, whether shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. You see that? Because you know good and well you ain't supposed to be doing this. And you let her, she's giving him counsel. Be one of the fools in Israel. Now, therefore, I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. You see that? She telling him. Talk to the king. If he said he loved her that much, now this is what I'm saying about understanding the story. Now he loved her. He looked at her and he had an infatuation is what he had. He just wanted what he saw. A lot of times we can see these women, they can look so good until they take their clothes off. Just saying. All that, man, she look fine, man. Look at this, look at that. She look good, but you don't know. She pull her clothes off, she might be, you know what I'm saying? Cellulite and all kind of stuff. Not talking about women, just giving you an understanding. They could be all that clothes, they look good in the clothes, but they take the clothes off, they could be all sloppy looking or what have you. Then some could just look finer than what you thought in the clothes. Man, their body is tight, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It all depends. But all I'm saying is what's coming up. For how bet he would not, let me hit 13 again. And I, whether shall I cause my shame to go? Whether shall I cause my shame to go? And as for thee, thou shalt be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, she telling them, now therefore I pray thee, speak unto the king, for he will not withhold me from thee. So she's saying, I don't mind being with you. He ain't gonna withhold me from you, but talk to daddy first. Talk to him. If you want me, you know, and I'll be with you if you want me to be with you, you know. 14. How bet he would not hearken unto her voice. He ain't listening. And this is what I mean by people being vexed. He ain't listening to her. This is what a lot of these people out here, they vex, and a lot of these so-called rapists, some people just got a spirit on them, y'all. It's a spirit. A negative, bad spirit that's on a lot of people. They don't even realize it because they don't take the time to go into the creator. See, this word chases demons and spirits and stuff. When you get into the creator's word and you start to see the word, and then you talk to the creator and ask him, if you see yourself in here, because you will see yourself. You know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, sometimes people will tell you about yourself in certain ways that you're like, okay, well, I might be wrong about certain things. We got to look at this book as a mirror, and we got to see ourselves in the things we do in these days and times as well. We got to look at ourselves. If we ain't looking at ourselves, hey, how are we learning? How can you learn self if no one is talking to you? No one's giving you information about you. Because some people, I'm perfect, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm fly, I'm this. And they don't even know. People on the outside saying, that dude is conceited. That dude don't need, they think they know what they know. Me, I'm going to tell you, in my growth, I look for information. Matter of fact, a woman shared some information. Oh, sister of mine. I'm sharing this real quick. Small story. I was at one of my shops. I think it was Wednesday. One Thursday. It was Wednesday. It wasn't yesterday. It was Wednesday. I was out making sales, right? And I was talking to one of my sisters. You know, my wife know. You know, I tell my wife everything. You know, this one sister, I always give her a hug and a kiss. No, a kiss on the cheek, that is, not no kiss. But, you know, we real close. We real cool. We're cool people, you know. And I'm glad my wife know me. That's why I'm good. That's what I'm saying. When you get somebody that know you and they ain't jealous, because my wife know how I am, you know, even though she know that I can have more than one wife. This girl ain't thinking like that. She just somebody, hey, how you doing? Kiss on the cheek. And what I love is what she shared with me is this. We was talking and I was telling her about something. I forgot exactly what I was saying, but she said, Yeah, she said something about cause I was telling her about, when I was coming to some places and I was talking to other people and just, and she said, yeah, you got that light. I said, huh? I said, what you? I said, what you? She said something. I got. But I think before she said that, she said, yeah, you have that good personality. I said, really? I said, what? I was about to say, I tell you what, tell me what you see in me so I can understand what you see. I want to know what people see in me from their eyes. I don't want to know what I think about me because it's always you looking out and you never know who's looking in. So I want to know what other people think about me, right? So I said, I did tell, I try to be upbeat everywhere I go and stuff like that. They said, yeah, that's what I said. I said, I try to be upbeat, and I just feel good around people. And I was telling her about how I make my water, right? I think that's what it was, how I make my water. And yeah, that's what it was. I was telling her about, I was talking to another woman at another place, and I was telling her about how I make my water, with stones, crystals, organized energy conductor, and I was just giving them information about how to do it. And she's like, yeah, because you have a nice personality, stuff like that. I said, really? I said, man. So I said, wait a minute. You tell me what you see in me, so I can understand what you see from your eyes. I can hear you, And so she said, well, yeah, you carry a light. I said, light? What kind of light? You carry the light. You got a light within you that people can see. I said, really? I don't know. I'm just, she said, people can see the light you got and they know it's of God. You got the light of God on you. I said, really? I said, man, I kind of brought a tear to my eye. Kind of think of that right now. Kind of brought a tear to my eye because it made me feel good that someone can tell me what they see, even though I'm a person that people love to hate. And that's what she said. She said, yeah, it's because it was her or another brother said, yeah, but, it's because the light that you have, a lot of people don't want to accept it or what have you. I forgot how the whole conversation went. But she just shared that with me, and I just gave her another hug, gave her a kiss on the cheek. I really appreciated that because I like getting to understand from people that I know or that people I'm around. Compared to some people, and I said it's been a long time, but I've learned to be this way. Not only it's me, but I learned to be this way even around negative people. So I know how to deal with them as well. Really, I don't. And truthfully, I just know how to, okay, cool. Say what and that's how our conversation. There's a lot coming to my mind now about the way the conversation started. But yeah, cool sister, real cool sister. She owns I was at her second shop because she's just opened up another shop, and I was there, and then she was there because she wasn't at her first shop. So I decided to go there, and that's when we had that conversation. But it just made me feel good. And the only way we can know more about ourselves, because I've been doing this for years, I want to hear someone tell me about me because they tell me what they think about me or just whatever their thoughts are. I ponder on that, I think about it, and I try to observe myself in the things that I do. And by me observing myself, I see myself in the way I do things. Like right here, this brother, when she talked to him, he should have been like, wise counsel or some type of counsel, and then if she'd have got with him, that'd have been a good wife for him. Because she had wise counsel. A man needs a good woman to help him in everything, but he gets the last say so. That's the bottom line. The man gets the last say so, but hey, what happens? Verse 14. Again, howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice, but being stronger than she, forced her and laid with her, meaning he raped her. He took her. He raped her. He took it. He forced it. But being stronger than her, than she, he forced her and laid with her. And what happened? Then, right here, this is what happened with a lot of guys. Right here, 15. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred would say, let me get this together. Then Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred within so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. You see that? And Amnon said unto her, arise, be gone. He done hit it. I almost said what I was going to say. I want to say it, but I'm not. He uttered, you know what I'm saying, but I want to say it. He went in, hit it, released. I'm going to put it like that. I'm going to say it nice because I'll go off. He went in, hit it, released. Now, I don't know if he got her pregnant or not, but he released, and then he just, I don't even, that's sad. That is sad. Now, if he got to know her, and they got to talking, and they got to know, well, he knew of her from what he saw. He didn't get to know her intellectually. He didn't get to know her here. If he got to know her here, he'd be like, man, okay, cool. That's how you get to know people. That's how you inquire. And she sitting up there had a quick conversation. Now, with that quick conversation that she said, well, you could be as a fool, whatever. Don't do this, whatever. Then he can say, okay, I'm sorry, sis. Come on, let's sit down. Let's talk for a minute. I've been admiring you for a long time. I really like you, and I don't know what it is about me. See, just being open. And people are ashamed and scared of that today. Just be open. I love you, and I don't know how to, and some like that, I don't even go off into the women of the day. It was something I saw on NPR. This guy, just sharing a small quick, this guy was promoting himself. This female, America's Got Talent, whatever, on the show, I guess, stepped up in his stuff, gave him a small promo, because he's doing his own promo with people around. And then she said, well, you like a smooch? No, I can't do that. I can't do it. I love though, I can't do it. And he walked off. She made a big hoopla about it, really making herself look bad, because he didn't want to kiss her on the cheek. Or she said, you want to smooch? He denied the smooch. I guess she got embarrassed. You see what I'm saying? But she wanted to sue him because he didn't want to kiss her on the cheek or smooch with her, whatever it was, and didn't know if he had a woman or not. You see what I'm saying? So this goes to show how crazy. That's why I said Isaiah 4:1 coming soon. Watch. I've been saying it for the longest. You can see it forming. Isaiah 4:1 coming soon. It's forming up. It's forming. These women is going to come to a man because everything is getting ready. Everything is being laid out now. The law is coming back in place. Everything is getting put back in place. According to prophecy. I'm a man of prophecy. Everything is being put in place. I'm definitely going to read your information when I'm done with part one. I'm going to get it at the end of part one because I want to see what was said. So, according to prophecy, this is what's going on today. Then Amnon hated her like a lot of these guys. After they go and run after the woman, they get it just to hit it. Then they go on about their way. They probably got the woman pregnant. They done just got in between the cheeks. Time is coming out for all that. Judgment is coming soon, y'all. Judgment is already here. It's been happening, but it's going to be a real judgment. There was a woman got on here a few days ago. It wasn't on Facebook, but I think it was on TikTok. I got it from, or it was on Instagram. It went on Instagram when I put it on Facebook, it didn't show up. Or it was on Instagram and they just didn't let it show because the woman was talking about prophecy. She said that the Creator woke her up out of her sleep. And she was saying that everybody's praying towards, mainly saying everybody's praying to a man and they're not giving me the praise. I'm going to put that in the post. I'm going to put that in the post. I got to find it. And I'm going to put the link and I'm going to put it in the post. She's saying everybody praying to great, they're not giving me the praise. And it sounds like Ezekiel chapter 14 about the judgment, the real judgment. Now, this is going to be a judgment by everybody, all these, even the people call themselves Hebrew Israelites that's worshiping Yahshua, worshiping Jesus. It's getting ready to be a big destruction, y'all. Time to repent. And this is where I'm seeing Revelation chapter, was it 16, 17, or 18, when it says that all these plagues came upon these people and they still never repented for their deeds. They never repented to the Creator because they're saying that all to Jesus, Yeshua, Emmanuel, Prophet Muhammad, they're giving everybody else the praise except the Creator. I'm going to put it in the post. And she said she still was saying at that time, but she probably didn't even realize it. Hamashiach and all. It's sad. But the Creator has to open your eyes. You have to want to have your eyes open first before the Creator can open it. Now, 15, and I'm going straight into 16. And Amnon hated her exceedingly, so that the hatred wherewith he hated her was greater than the love wherewith he had loved her. And Amnon said unto her, Arise, be gone. Then 16. I want to put this in pink. Yeah, this was a sin within itself. And she said unto him, There is no cause. See, there is no cause. This evil in sending me away. See, now there's no what you gonna send me away for? You done took it now. There is no cause. This evil in sending me away is greater than the other that thou didst unto me. See, you're sending me. This is greater. You sending me away. It's greater than what you did to me. You done took it, and you don't even want to keep me here. Sound like she didn't mind being with him. Sound like. Then the other than this, than thou didst to me. But he would not hearken. See, he didn't listen to that. I'm gonna put these in green. These 2 times he didn't listen. But he would not hearken unto her. And up here when he said, as for this child, therefore I pray thee, speak thou to the king, for he would not hold me from thee. Howbeit he would not hearken unto her voice. He still wouldn't listen. And you know what? This right here reminds me of them people that I don't care what you say. It's like they it's not even deaf. They just don't have no understanding. You can be talking to them about something so plain and simple. They're looking at you like this. And still don't hear what you're saying. Your ears totally closed to what you're saying. Over here, about this folly. Do not do this folly. No, do not do this folly. And whether I call it, if I pay these, okay, yeah. Yep, he don't listen. Got a lot of people don't listen. They hear what they want to hear, do what they want to do. That time gonna come back on them. 17. Then he called his servants that ministered unto him, mainly that his people, and said, Put now this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her. Dang. He cold. Put her out and shut the door. He didn't skirted. I'm just gonna say it like that because I keep wanting to say the other word. And it start with an N, spelled UT with an ED on it. That's what I want to say. I'm trying to be nice. Then he called his servants and ministered unto him and said, Put now this woman out from me and bolt the door after her. Close it and bolt the door. Get her out of here. And she had a garment of divers colors upon her, for with such robes were the king's daughters. You see that? For with such robes was the king's daughters that were virgins apparel. See, they was virgins at the time. So these are to show that they was virgins. Then his servant brought her out and bolted the door. brought her out and bolted the door. And Tamar put ashes on her head and rent her garment of divers colors that was on her and laid her hand on her head and went on crying. No, she went, oh, she teared because she ain't a virgin no more. Okay. Right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this right here for part one. And we can ready to go to part two in a few moments. But before we do that, I want to read what my brother or my sister, Ali Yahoo. I read the first part, but I'm reading it again. And I shared that already, but I'm gonna read it one more time and I'm gonna read down. Respectfully, I have a question. Isn't it true that when a man passionately engages with another man's wife, not only is that adultery on her part, but also taking another man's belongings, possessions on his part. Meaning that when a man messes around with a married woman, he has a double whammy upon his head. And I would say, I would say, but that's on the creator to handle whatever we can see it as a double whammy, but whatever the whammy is, it's coming. The creator gonna give it to him. Yes, I am a brother. Okay, yeah, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't really understand at the time, but thank you. And he says, all Alu Yahweh is a trip how once you've lived some more life. Reading and studying the Most High's truth is like the convictions of your own soul. That's right. Staring straight back you in the mirror. That's a fact, bruh. You're on the right road because that's exactly how it is. That's the reason why I can see the scriptures and read it and show that we're going through the same thing that they're saying in the book. But people are just reading the book as a story. This is actually a mirror to us to see ourselves in this book. And once you start to do that, you see yourself a lot better. You see life differently. You see everything differently because now the scriptures, which is actually spiritual, becomes a part of you. Now you can see the scriptures a part of you. You can see the actual story in the book, and you can also see the story spiritually in today's time. So yeah, 100%, my beloved brother. I appreciate love you, my bro. And what we get ready to do right now is just share that I am that Mikael in Daniel chapter 12, verses 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's me. Showing the holy people who they're really supposed to be. Waking them out of their dead beds, which is really in their heads. For all of you who's living in the new, this is for you. I'm that same Mikael in Revelations 12, battling that red dragon where Satan dwell, who deceiveth the whole world but prevaileth not, because the horn is blown without a doubt. This was prophesied for you to see that Mikael is really me. And we're getting ready to stop this right here for part one. And don't forget, this is Defiling of Tamar. Defiling of Tamar. I mean, this is when she was raped or virginity got took. So this is the end of part one. And we're about to move into part two. And I'm going to pause Zoom. My brother G1 and my brother Kaz, I'm going to pause y'all real quick because this is the full version. So we'll be right back in a few moments. I love you. Appreciate love you. Be right back. Peace. Recording stopped. And for everybody else on Facebook, YouTube, Live, and Instagram, this is the end of part one. And right now, I'm just going to share with you, if you'd like to get back in contact with me, you can always call or text me at 770-572-5315. That's 770-572-5315. Or you can always email me at lkhyym@gmail.com. That's lkhyym@gmail.com. Excuse me. Now, if you'd like to see part one and part two, you can always see part one and part two on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, which I'm going to give you the information to those. Part one and part two, you can see on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. On YouTube, you can look at them on YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share on YouTube Live at JuicePro33. Put in the search engine JuicePro33. That's all together. JuicePro33 all together in the search engine. And again, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, you can catch us on Instagram. Our Instagram is L'Chaim_the Juice, which is spelled LKHYYM_THEJUICE. Again, that's LKHYYM_THEJUICE. Also, you can catch me on Facebook. My Facebook, like I said, part 1 and part 2 is on these 3. My Facebook is Mikael Harris, which is MI_CHAEL space HARRIS. Again, that's apostrophe CHAEL space HARRIS. That's for part 1 and part 2 on those. Now, for the full versions, you actually catch me from the Zoom. I upload on YouTube under video. That's YouTube under video. And again, that's JUICEPRO33. Again, JUICE in your search engine. Excuse me. PRO33. Put that in the search engine. Again, please like, subscribe, and share. That's under video. Also on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's X, formerly known as Twitter. JuicePro33 on there as well. JUICEPRO33. Again, which is JUICEPRO33. That's on X, formerly known as Twitter. And also, we're on rumble.com. That's rumble.com/LKHYYM. That's rumble.com/LKHYYM. And we're also on patreon.com. Patreon.com/LKHYYM. That's patreon.com/LKHYYM. And also, you can catch me on TikTok. I don't have these on TikTok, but my TikTok page is, now TikTok is, I have 2. The first one is like Instagram, which is L'Chaim_the Juice, which is LKHYYM_THEJUICE. Again, LKHYYM. Excuse me. _THEJUICE. Last but not least, for this point, my last TikTok is Michael the Juice Harris. That's Michael the Juice Harris. You put in your search in the @ MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. That's again MICHAELTHEJUICEHARRIS. That's Michael the Juice Harris on TikTok. At the end of part 2, we do the 4. I mean, I just give the how you get to me on Zoom. But other than that, we're gonna say bye for now. I thank y'all for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. But first, we're gonna say bye over to Instagram. I love you. I appreciate you. Love you, and I'll see you soon. Peace. In the part 1, we'll be right back with part 2. All righty. All right. Over here on Facebook, we'll be right back with part 2. This is in part 1. I'll see you in a few moments. I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, your seeing eye. I'd like to thank you, Aliyahu, I think it is. Aliyahu. I thank you. I appreciate, love you. We'll be right back. Please come back with part 2. We'll be right back. Just got to break everything down and load everything up, and we'll be right back. Appreciate, love you in always. Peace. Love you, fam. See you more. All right. And over here on YouTube Live, I thank you for your time, your patience, your listening ear, and your seeing eye. Appreciate, love you. See you soon and always. Peace.